sir. You're about to see something really special.
Really thought this part of my life was behind me. Frenzy disappeared with the drinking 3 years ago. Why now? This makes no sense, and I'm right on the verge of freaking out.
Back from your life.
These people can be animals.
What you burn.
Thingy's out.
Some bitter things you should never.
Good cheese.
Learn. Wallow through the days.
Remember, cosplay's not consent.
So here's to me. Congratulations, me. Yay, me.
This would all be so much easier if I was hammered. Hammered.
Won't be there
Right.
You can take away the anger, but you leave behind the pain. It's your soul I
New ventures are always scary.
feel till I'm melting
Blah, blah, blah. Something positive and uplifting.
tomorrow. But the hurt will still remain. In your soul I'll live forever till I'm melting in.
Don't miss our new film, The Love Song of William H. Shaw, coming soon to a streaming service near you. Hey everyone, this is Cliff from Talking Pondo. Just wanted to give you a quick heads up about spoilers on the show. We do talk about the films in a certain amount of detail, so you may want to watch the film first and then come back if you're not a fan of spoilers. Also, every now and then there's a little bit of adult language, so we wanted to give you fair warning on that. We hope you enjoy the episode, and we really appreciate you listening.
Welcome to Making Pondo and Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where we pick out 2 movies each week and talk about them in detail. Making Pondo is a podcast where we talk to people we've made films with and we discuss all their experiences on set. This week on Making Pondo, a special live episode of Making Pondo, recorded at Tucson 50 with special guest Carol Edwards. So here we are at our first ever live version of Making Pondo.
Where's everybody?
Well, they're out there in Radio Land listening to this recording that was recorded live at Tucson 50.
Radio Land?
Well, podcast land. Some people on
RSS feed land?
RSS feed land is probably more appropriate.
Okay.
Internet land.
We could spend the whole hour talking about is podcast radio. So I'm Marty Catola.
I'm Cliff Campbell.
And I'm Carol Edwards.
We're here with our guest Carol Edwards. We're doing our Making Pondo format today, where we ask someone who's made films with us a series of questions, and we see how they respond to them. We've even had a previous guest in the audience today.
Yay!
Hi,
Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
All right. Well, how are you this morning? A little tired,
I
you were
want
saying?
more sleep.
This is the second day of the con, so we were wearing ourselves out pretty good yesterday.
Well, you were on elevator duty.
I was on elevator duty. Well, because I'm not just a guest at this con,
Right.
I'm also the head of security. And the head of security, you know, bring her down to the humble level and be like, nah, you have an elevator shift too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, because you can only get up there with the key
You hear that?
to your room.
She leads by example, people.
I lead by example.
Okay, she leads
I
from the
try.
front, not
Yeah.
from the
Oh
not
no,
from the
my
rear.
elevator shift tonight. I think I have 2, and I get the 11 to midnight
Oh, fun.
because my deputy took 11 to midnight last night, so I could drive home.
So, for those listening who might not know, what is the elevator shift?
The
For those
elevator
not
shift.
in the know.
Okay, so
Maybe we
this
should explain that.
so this hotel that we're at has a very good security measure for their guests, and you can only use the elevator from the first floor and the stairwell. I checked. If you have a key, one of the key cards, so you scan it, it summons the elevator down to the first floor. You can go whatever other floor you want, whatever. The problem is that a bulk of Tucson's attendees are not also hotel guests.
Yeah.
So how are they going to get to Con Suite when Con Suite's on the 3rd floor and panels and vendor hall and other things are on the 1st floor? Well, that's where the security team says, yeah, we didn't notice that was a problem until 2 weeks before the con. We'll just sit in a chair next to the elevator after Reg closes and badge people up.
Did we consider maybe putting the con suite on the first floor?
This was way beyond deciding where Consuite was going to go. Consuite was solidly booked for third floor. We could not change that.
Gotcha.
So it became, well, Carol, do you have a solution? Yeah, bodies and keys to our own rooms that we scan to let people up. Yeah, so that's elevator shift.
You learn something new on this podcast every day, don't you?
I'm telling
It
you.
is, this is something new for me because I've never had to do this at a con before, elevator shift.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It is unique to the TusCon 50 experience.
Guys, you got to come out here and experience this.
Yeah, I
con.
gotta experience
Yeah,
this.
See all kinds of stuff like this.
People will be coming out here wanting to do elevator shifts. You know.
I'm here to volunteer for elevator shift. It
No,
sounds-
no,
it's
no,
made it
dude,
sound
dude. So many people have come to volunteer for elevator shift.
Oh, wow.
And I'm intensely grateful. I don't
Oh,
know if
that's
they're
awesome.
gonna be like, so names. I'm terrible with names, y'all. But
Yours is
Tom
Carol.
and Cassandra. Thank you. I have a right there. Yeah, I got a little card thing, even though nobody can see us. Cassandra, Tom, John, my counterpart. I call him Edwardian, but people know him as Ian the Tall and Eddie. He has many names. And his posse,
Come on in.
AJ, Athena, and Ian the Small. So those are the ones who have volunteered for elevator duty yesterday. And then we have Eric and, again, I believe Cassandra and John. I'm going to have to double check on that. They all volunteered for elevator duty tonight.
Oh.
So I am intensely grateful. Because otherwise it would be me and Edwardian sitting in front of the elevator for like 2-hour shifts 4 times. It would suck.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you.
So we're here at TusCon and we shot. I'm looking at this like it's a camera. It's so funny.
I know, I am
Here's
too.
TV. So we shot Love Song of William H. Shaw, our latest film, partially at TusCon 46, and
Yes.
Carol's in the movie in multiple roles, and so we figured.
She snuck in and then she got a part.
And then I got a part.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
that's such a fun
She was
story.
like, I'm going to make sure I'm in this movie.
No,
now I'm
I
getting
didn't.
a part.
Right.
Can I tell that story?
Sure.
Of
Okay.
course, yes. Yeah.
So I initially got involved with Love Song because of Eric Schumacher.
Oh, okay.
And he's been involved with our convention committee by hosting our virtual meetings. They used to be in person, and then pandemic happened, and we were like, oh, hey, why don't we use Zoom? Well, we need it for like a 2-hour block, and I think Zoom had a limit to 60 minutes or something. And Eric graciously stepped up and said, well, I have the pro account or whatever it is required for longer. And he began hosting our meetings for us so that we were able to do it without, possibly exposing each other to COVID. And he has remained on con committee in various capacities ever since. So when he brought up filming at TusCon, quite shortly into that whole thing, we were like, yes, please.
Oh.
And then they said, oh, well, we'll need extras. And I volunteer as tribute. So I'm an extra in a few scenes in the film. And then, fast forward to a few months later, he had mentioned, oh yeah, we're going to be filming in March, and we need some extras there too. And I'm like, yeah, ooh, extra, that's my niche, I can do that. So I emailed him, and I said, hey, how's this? Actually, it was you. I was in contact with you at that point. And I said, hey, schedule, do you need me as an extra, whatever? And you said something about needing to cast one more part
That's right.
before
Yeah,
you
'cause
guys
the-
could
the-
do the
yeah, 'cause the
filming.
person to back it up,
And,
that's right.
one small role. And I said, I think, well, can I audition for it?
Well, that's right. You sent us the audition tape.
I sent you an audition tape. And since you cannot see me, the feedback I got from the audition tape was, yes, but does she have a fedora?
That was Jeff's note.
That was Jeff's note. Does she have a fedora? And lo and behold, I have had a fedora since I was 15. And I bought it on a trip to visit my extended family in Seattle. And this was one of those things where my parents were trying to teach me and my sister about impulse purchases. And I bought the hat because I fell in love with it when I saw it, and my mother was treating it like it was an impulse buy and trying to make it a teaching moment. And fast forward to now, many, many, many years later, and I go, I am validated.
You're wearing
Yes.
it in a movie.
My
Legitimate
15-year-old
prop
self
now.
is validated. Me and my hat are in an indie film.
Don't you love when that happens?
I love it. Love it so much. I love you, Mom.
Well, you were very good.
Y'all keep saying
I was
that.
very, very, happy with your level of acting. It was right up there with everybody else, and you were very good. I was really pleased. When that scene starts, you're very aggravated. You're very frustrated.
It was
You
very
couldn't get your
frustrating.
comic books, and
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, she plays the angry customer.
Angry customer.
Literally, that's the name of the
That
name
is
of
the
the part,
name of
Angry
the part.
Customer.
Angry customer. And I'm like in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, after credits, I'm in like the first 5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick. So at least
Yeah.
the speaking part,
Well,
the extras part is later.
Your scene's important. It lays out a lot.
Yeah, it lays. Oh
a
yeah,
lot
it
of
did. No, I was kind of expecting to be somewhere hidden in the middle. Nah, that
No.
sucker opened right up into this is the problem we are facing with this movie.
Yeah.
It's,
You lead most of the exposition for
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. So that was fun.
So, I mean, I know you haven't done a whole lot in film,
No,
right?
no, I've not.
And so we threw you into the acting and extras part. But
did.
if you did more work in film, would there be anything that you'd be interested in pursuing? Maybe more acting, or you?
Oh
there's so
no,
many
absolutely the
different
acting.
parts
The act. I got bitten by the acting bug in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a theater major in college.
Ah.
Technically,
why you were so- okay, that's why you were so
oh no,
good.
I have a
Okay.
story for that.
Okay.
Technically, my major was communication arts with an emphasis in theater, because at the time, the small university that I went to did not have its own theater major, which actually turned out to be good because the communication classes I was required to take come into play with my regular day job. So that's fun. And that's also easier to put on a resume and be like, oh, it's a theater major, as opposed to, oh, communication arts should be great. So yeah, that's that lovely little twist of fate right there. But I had a professor once in college, acting professor, who told me I had hit a learning curve, and I say that with finger quotes, with my acting. And at the time, what was I, like 19? I took it as nice speak for you suck. And I stopped acting. I went all tech stuff after that.
It's a shitty thing to say to somebody.
Right. However, upon reflection over many, many years, and the fact that I did get back into stage acting with Shakespeare in the Park, El Rio Theater Project with Michael Givens, who has retired and the project has since closed, but it was a very, very special time in my life because I had a coworker goad me into auditioning, and I landed a lead role. After something like a 9-year sabbatical from acting. So from all of that, I reflected on what my professor said, and I'm thinking that maybe he wasn't telling me that I sucked. He was telling me that what I needed to learn, he couldn't teach me. I needed life experience to fuse into the acting. So at least that's how I'm
kind of like you were
choosing.
hitting your head on the ceiling. And
Yeah,
what
and
you
I had to
do.
like,
You need to kind of break through
I
it.
had to break through that. So that's how I'm choosing to take that.
Looking
These
back,
days.
that's how.
Looking back, that's how I choose
Decide
to
how
look
to
at
do
it.
that.
But so I have stage acting a lot under my belt, but film, no, you guys are actually the first ones, I think.
How did you like doing film? Do you prefer film or stage, or which one did you like?
Oh gosh, I don't think I could choose. I liked them both. The rehearsal side of each is completely different because you walk on the set, you're about to do the scene, you've tried to memorize your lines as best you can, you have zero blocking, you have zero interaction with the other actors, and so the first few takes for several takes are almost kind of like the rehearsal. And you were doing this, and I super appreciated it because my nervous button was on full, man. And though the more we did it and the more comfortable we got with our lines, and you asked a question, I'm skipping a question, about my favorite moment on the set, and the moment is when my nervous button switched off.
Oh, okay.
And the acting muscle memory kicked in. And since we had done it a few times and I knew what kind of motions we were doing and when they were handing me things, and working with Eric and Jeff was just a real treat. It became giving each other things to work with and then responding to what they give you. And each take that we did, it just increased exponentially. So it wasn't no longer, oh my gosh, am I gonna, pardon my language, fuck up the scene, because I did. The first few times I did. It became the collaborating, the working together, the creation among the actual four of us. Because, Gia
Gia.
was
she
in
was
there.
there too, yeah.
I'm terrible with names, but I really wanted to get that
You
one.
did pretty well.
I'm sorry, Gia. But she was in there too with it. So it was the four of us doing this creation of it, and that was my favorite moment, was hitting that stride and us being able to do that. And it's completely different with stage, where you walk in the first day and it's a rehearsal and you're not expected to be off book. You're reading from the page, you've got it folded in half backwards, and you're like doing the thing, and you're looking at your person, and everything is very stilted and stiff, and you working all of that out with your blocking.
Right.
Until you've gotten it to what the director wants. And then when you're doing like the dress rehearsals is when you hit it and it smooths out. Hopefully it has smoothed out. So yeah, totally different experience, but I really enjoy both of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did we have many times we had to stop for a train going outside?
We did.
I seem
We
to
had to
recall
stop.
that
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. I actually thought it would be kind of fun if we could have caught the train going by somewhere,
Well,
but
we have-
it was the noise.
We have some.
It was
We
the noise.
put some construction effects in
Just
the
a little
background
bit,
and
yeah.
stuff, just
Yeah,
to
a
kind
little
of
bit.
allude to that.
Yeah,
allude
allude
to
to
the
it.
fact that John's moved to a store that's probably
Yeah.
not easily accessible and has a lot of construction around
which,
it. So
which
it's
that
hampering his
location
business.
is not.
Yeah.
That is not really, and the parking like right in front is not great, and
Mm-hmm.
the parking surrounding it, because it's our downtown, is all permit, except
Yeah.
between certain times. So yeah, no, you entirely captured that.
Well, that's the great thing about. I was going to say that's the great thing about digital. Like if because we're shooting on digital instead of film, you have the leniency, in my opinion, to kind of, all right, just turn the camera on, we'll shoot it. If magic happens while we're rehearsing, great, we'll keep it.
Yeah.
But if not, then we can just kind of keep going
Yeah,
until
yeah.
we get happy. Now, obviously you don't want to waste a lot of takes on
No.
on camera doing that,
No,
but
you
you can burn a few, and it's not costing you any film.
Yeah.
Film is every foot is a couple of dollars a foot, right?
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
oh my god, we're wasting money.
Money,
With,
yeah,
with
yeah.
digital's like delete. All right, go again.
That fits into your other question about what area of film would I be interested in working in, and I like being also an editor, not of film, of writing. I like it when it, the cohesive whole coming together. And as painstaking as I've heard it is, I've been curious about editing film and how that works in comparison to other types that I've done. So I've never edited film whatsoever in my life, but the putting all of it together, I recognize him.
Yeah.
I recognize him. Oh my God, I'm gonna fangirl. No.
Nate Campbell just walked in the room.
Yes, Nick Campbell just walked in the room. Yay! So yeah, that part. Making something into its cohesive whole, so that the story being told in the medium of film versus how it was on the page in the script when it first got written. That is very interesting to me.
Yeah, there's similarities. There definitely is, because you're reassembling it again. It's almost like being the director for a second time editing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, but you also got like editors that can, like Jaws is a famous example, right? Shark breaks down, Spielberg's like, I don't know what we're gonna do, and the editor's like, give me more of this empty water stuff. Give me more of this empty water stuff. I'll put some music over it, make it ominous.
Yes.
And she saves the picture, right?
Yep.
Not because she's putting it together based upon the script.
Yeah.
But she's going, all right, what do I have?
Because she saw what it could be based
exactly.
on
and that's,
what's
to
there.
me, those are the best editors.
And
right?
it's
They're
kind of like,
that's
yeah,
not really
editing
what I planned, but
literature
it's
can
even better.
sometimes be the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's usually what I'm editing. Well, business emails also, yeah. Much shorter than a film, but
You're like, I need more paragraphs like this.
Yeah, no. With business emails, you need less paragraphs. If there's one thing I've learned in my job, it's that people don't read their email. They'll read the first sentence, and if it doesn't grab them with the information that they need, they're just like, yeah, whatever. So you have to always the first line is the
That's
first
why I start my emails off with "Dear Chuckleheads."
Yes.
That'll get their attention.
Hey,
No.
morons.
No, I like chuckleheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might borrow that.
So you said that acting was your main interest. Is there a dream role that you would like to play if you had your
If
opportunity?
y'all hadn't noticed, I have a villain laugh. I have a cackle. I want to be a supervillain.
Oh.
Yes. Because I can just, there's also the humor, entertainer side of me that y'all have seen in just real life. And I feel that a supervillain would be right up my alley, man. Come on, right?
Yeah.
I could do the angst, but also the...
I'm not doing a Frenzy movie. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You might write it and let somebody else.
Yeah. Recommend Carol as the bad guy.
Please.
But yeah, I'm not.
I would love to be the bad guy.
I got to get away from these characters. My
Do
wife is
something
gonna kill me.
fresh.
Are you
though.
starting to hallucinate?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Are
been
you
with
seeing
these
Frenzy
characters.
over there?
I've been with these
Probably.
characters for 12 years now.
Or
Yeah?
at least.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that as long as Billy's been with them?
Yeah, no, yeah, something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah.
It's,
Okay.
nine.
We saw what happened to him.
yeah,
Ooh.
and it's time to kind of.
You need to put some distance there, dude.
Yeah, it's time to move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
These guys, plus they've come full circle. They're fine.
And if
They
y'all
don't need
have,
us
if
anymore.
y'all hadn't watched the movies, now you need to understand that. Okay.
So everybody has secondary career interests. So what's your other creative outlet, or probably your primary, since the acting is the side thing?
Since
But we
acting
already
is
know
the
what
side
that
thing, we
is,
already
but
well
maybe
the audience
yes.
doesn't know. Oh, the audience doesn't know. I am also a poet.
Mhm.
That is a
And
fairly
a
decent
darn
thing.
good one too, from what I
Thank you.
heard.
Thank you. Yes, I have very, very supportive friends.
Good.
Very supportive. And it doesn't help that Linda tends to praise me to my face. That's kind of one of those. I'm turning very red because I don't know how to handle compliments. And yet I'm supremely grateful that she says these things because it gives me the boost of confidence to kind of keep going. And
We have
she's
that
not the only one, you know. The publishers have actually published my stuff, and you go, okay, well, you know, if they keep consistently getting published places, maybe I'm
Maybe
kind of
they're not
okay.
wrong, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not bad, you know. Yes, so poetry. Carol, what kind of poetry do you write? I write right now, or at least I publish right now, dark poetry, and I'm sticking my foot in the horror poetry genre. Hashtag shameless plug. There is an anthology that just came out that's a charity project. Book is published by Black Spot Books, but all of the proceeds go to the Pixel Project, which is a nonprofit working to end violence against women worldwide.
Okay.
And this
That's a good one.
anthology is the second in Black Spot Books' horror women in horror showcase. So the first was called Under Her Skin, and that dealt with themes about women and their relationship with their own body. Under Her Eye, this one that just came out on Tuesday, is about women feeling unsafe in the one place they should feel safe, their own homes. So
Good themes.
yeah,
Those are
very
really
good
really
themes.
good themes.
Lindy Ryan is from Black Spot Books, and she co-edited, and I'm going to get this person's name wrong. I deeply apologize. Lee Murray. I could probably look on my phone, but my phone is in my bag right now. So, well, you know, we'll do that because I feel it's very important to get her name right. Anyway, I'll just keep talking. So, with the dark poetry, horror poetry, that's not what I exclusively write. I handwrite things. That's a notebook that I've had since late September, and I've got that much left. It's about 15 pages at the back of the notebook. And a lot of it is sometimes not dark poetry. It's like nature poetry because I go sit outside to get some quiet, and my backyard is quite lovely with giant bougainvillea bushes. And sometimes I just write about dawn or plants or the ocean. I love writing about the ocean.
Calm down, Thoreau.
I know.
Shit.
But what's been getting published is my dark poetry because it's something that people relate to. It's expression of difficult topics that sometimes people don't really want to talk about. But when they read about it, they feel this, oh God, yeah, that applies to me. I feel this. And so it resonates with people. So now that I have my phone,
Didn't you recently hit a publishing milestone?
I did. I recently hit 50 separate publications of poetry, but
Wow.
that doesn't mean that it's one poem per.
Yeah.
Nor does it mean that it's only so it's 50 publishers. I have actually been accepted several times by the same publishers for different anthologies. One of whom is my own publisher for my own collection, Ravensquoth Press. And my collection, solely me, is titled The World Eats Love. So you can kind of imagine the dark poetry therein. So let me see, Under Her Eye. Under Her Eye. There you are.
Now we're all
All right, now we're going to get the name right.
Yeah, we're all looking at our
Now we're
phones
gonna
right now.
Lee Murray. I did get
You
it
did
right.
get it right.
I did get it right. Go me. It also helped because I did a panel about it this morning, so it would be good if I got the names right. You know. Hopefully neither Lee nor Lindy is
Oh, I found it.
is like rolling their eyes at me right now. So anyway,
Check the show notes for the link.
Yes,
Yes.
well, we provide links to show notes.
Yes.
Carol's work, anything that she's got online that you can purchase, we'll provide
Thank
you
you.
links to,
I
and
appreciate it.
anything like. Of course.
so yes, solely mine is The World Eats Love, and then the horror poetry anthology that I'm shamelessly promoting because it just came out under her eye, available from Black Spot Books, pretty much anywhere, Amazon.
Isn't it ridiculously
stuff.
hard to self-promote? Like I
It
have a
can be.
whole like self-conscious thing about
I
it.
do. I have
Really,
some-
a self-conscious thing.
Yeah,
about
so
it.
you-
It's-
like-
which is a really stupid thing for a filmmaker to say. But
Yeah,
but
how
there
many
it
words
is.
that I gave about that anthology versus my own book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
exactly.
feel it's like one of those, oh no, I can't talk about my stuff. Let somebody else talk about my stuff. I'll talk about this person's stuff.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
It's a thing.
Same way.
Anyway, so yes, that is what I do. It is kind of like a second job.
Nice.
Except I don't often get paid for it. I get contributor copies of the books though. That's fun. Most of the time.
So now we're segueing into a couple of Cliff's favorite questions.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So
Do I know
you
about
got your
these?
Let me. Okay.
two.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a question I like to ask everybody because my favorite type of movies are based on music, not
Okay.
necessarily musicals. Not talking
Okay.
like sound music, but like the Commitments, for example. That's one I always go to. You know. So,
Okay.
do you have a film based on music, like a favorite film based on music that you go to, like a go-to that you really love?
Okay, so the first one that I thought of right off the top of my head, That Thing You Do.
Oh, that's a good one. Such an excellent choice.
I saw that so many years ago, and I loved the music. I loved that it was Tom Hanks. I loved that it was Liv Tyler, and the whole and the story that they told, the music part and the personal lives part. I just, it's a very happy movie for
It
me.
is.
That's one of his favorite
One of my
favorites.
absolute favorites.
Yeah? I had no idea.
There's a great one. There's
No
an
idea.
extended edition on Blu-ray where you get to find out that the manager, he's actually gay,
Oh,
and he's dating Howie Long is his boyfriend, and they show up to the drummer. They're in Hollywood, and they show up to fix something for the drummer. And the drummer's
Yeah.
like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I've got a thing. I've got to go." And as he's going to the Corvette, there's Howie Long in the car, and he's going, "We should bring him with us." And he starts laughing. He goes, "Oh yeah, at this party, ha ha ha!" And they jump in the car and they drive off. I'm like, "Oh, why would you cut that out? That's so great." Anyway, there's
I
a
don't
lot
know,
of those extra moments.
Flow
like that
of the
in there.
story. Well, I don't know. That's cutting room floor is killer for actors. You know,
Yeah.
like I actually, part of me when you guys cast me in an Angry Customer and we did the scene, and positive feedback all around, and I was like, okay, cool. And then this little part of my brain was like, yes, but Carol, cutting room floor. I'm like, shit. Is that actually gonna happen?
It was too important of a
mean,
scene.
I didn't know that.
We did it.
I had no idea.
We did it to our lead actress. Unfortunately, I mean, we were like, okay, here's this scene.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to cry. Like you're gonna have to. Okay, so he's gonna come in. You guys are gonna have this argument. Now it's all gonna be MOS, which is no sound. You're just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, I've got
act
that.
it out, and then he's gonna turn and leave, and you're gonna hit the door and turn around and slide down and start crying. And she's like, all right, this is gonna take a minute. I'm gonna have to get there. Let me go to
You
the
gotta
back."
get there, yes,
So she's got
yes.
music in. She's listening to all this sad music. She's in the bathroom for 10 or 15 minutes getting ready. And
Mm-hmm.
I go, knock, like, okay, you ready? She's like, yeah. And nailed it. And then we get to the edit room and we're like, oh, the beats on that are all wrong. It's like, it's just
Damn
not
it.
right.
Oh.
So we ended up cutting a bit of it out.
Yeah.
We shortening it up
Yeah.
to make it flow better. But even I remember during the premiere, she was like, hey, where's my crying?
She's like, "Where's my
Yeah.
thing?" It's like, "Oh yeah."
You're like, we forgot to tell you
yeah,
about
we
that.
wanted to have a conversation with you about that.
Yeah, before we saw the.
It's,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Sorry, Olivia.
We got to the point as filmmakers where our deleted scenes, they're not cut out because they're bad. They're actually just as good as the rest of the movie, but the pacing demands that they can't be in there.
Yeah. See, that's, and of course, that ties in with my interest in editing a film and how that all happens.
Yeah.
Because it's different on paper than it is.
Well, you'll have
during
this.
the
You'll have
actual-
this great. You shoot this great moment. Like, oh God, exactly what I wanted. And then you put it in with everything else. You go,
You go, "No."
oh man, it's like
Yeah.
I just try to wait around a balloon and just drag it
Yeah,
through the floor.
it's like a
terrible.
line or a verse in a poem. I love it, but it doesn't fit with the rest of it. And you gotta take it out in order to make the overall piece stronger.
Yeah.
There's so many times when sometimes
It's so
I'll
painful.
take it and I'll put it over. This is funny. It's funny to me. I'll take verses or lines out of poems, but it's so good, I don't want to forget it.
Sure.
So I kind of dump it over on this one page in the same file, because I have a master file, and it kind of just collects lines of things that I've cut out of other poems.
That's like Bowie.
And then you go, I've gone back before, and I go, can I make a poem out of these pieces? And I have done that.
Yeah.
Successfully twice.
Bowie writes songs like that. He would take lines from
Yeah.
magazines and articles and put them into files, and then he would just go to his computer and go, all right, boom, randomly, and go, okay, great, that's great, and then boom, okay, great,
Yeah.
and then
So-
sort of tie them together.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I definitely appreciate my subconscious working overdrive so that I get multiple poems from my discards.
Yeah, I mean, the film version of that screenwriting is there'll be scenes that kick around from script to script until they finally find the movie that they belong in.
Yeah, that's
And I was
true.
like, oh,
That's
Yeah.
very
like
true.
the scene at Tuscan, that was from a script we wrote almost 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Where there was supposed to be a scene taking
Yeah,
place at a
yeah.
convention, and it morphed throughout the years
Yeah.
and finally found its way into love songs.
I'm gonna laugh if 20 years from now I'm still writing poetry and there's a poem I wrote in like 2020 and I go, I know what to
Here it
do with
goes.
this now.
Now is time.
Now
for
is
it,
the
yes.
time.
So my next question: did you have what was your favorite moment on the set while you were working there? Other than was it the click?
It was the click where my nervousness finally switched off and
Yeah, I
we were
get that.
doing it felt like us in our little bubble doing our thing. And I love this moment because it's the realization of something that a different acting professor, she retired and the other guy took over. She was my very first acting professor. First class, acting 101. And she says to us, your job is to make other actors look good. And we were kind of like, what? You know, little freshmen coming out of high school. Whenever you do shows in high school, it's look at me.
My job is to be the star.
My job is to be the star. No, your job is to make who's in the scene with you look good. She would hammer that into us. And she, wasn't like vicious about it, but you do a scene and it felt kind of awkward and she'd be like, all right, so motivation for the scene, you go for you. So how can you help them look better? What can you give them to work with? And so that was one of the basics that she taught us in Acting 101. Thank you, Carrie. And Carrie Jill, sorry. Come on, it's been like 20 years. So that lives with me. And every time we do the stage thing, that's what I'm trying to do. And when it was Eric and Jeff and Gia all in the scene, and I finally stopped being a nervous wreck, that happened. We were all trying to give each other something to work with, to make the scene better, to make our own performances better in response to what they were giving us. And that's why I love it. That's why it's my favorite. It is what Carrie Jo was talking about so many years ago, and I finally lived it.
Well, and I keep telling you were good in it because again, it's like we talked about earlier. It's exposition, and exposition's tough. Like
Yeah.
writing it, making it feel natural and feel organic. And so when you get it, like okay, I'm comfortable with this. This is right in the flow. I'm giving the audience what they need without giving them too much. I'm not holding their hand.
Yeah.
And then you see the person take it and really make it, and where you're like, oh, that's perfect. It's great. It sets everything else up. You know, that's why I was telling you, it's such a good job. It's fantastic.
And the audience is Carol's turning favorite. So I
she
don't know
doesn't
what to
take
do with
compliments
that.
very well.
I don't know how to handle compliments.
You just say thank you.
Thank you.
Did you? So my last question normally is just, I guess you would have gotten. Yeah, Marty was there. So did you get any feedback that you really appreciated, or was there specific directorial feedback that you got that you really liked, or do you even like to get feedback from a director?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Because of the one professor, I don't often trust my acting to not be stiff and stilted and cardboard. I actually have 2 stories. I'll try and make them short. So on set, yes, the feedback that I got, it was minimal but encouraging. And so sometimes you would just be like, okay, let's go again. And it wasn't a disappointed, okay, let's go again. It's entirely your delivery of that. Because you said it multiple times, obviously, because we did so many takes. I was like, okay, let's go again. And to me, that was, we can do more.
Yeah.
We can do more. All right, let's do more. Let's commit to more. And that ties back to my director, Michael Givens. Love you, Michael. And he, when he cast me as lead in my very first show with him, we were doing the first rehearsal. I already had the part, this was not auditions. And we're doing a scene that I'm in, and he, at the end of it, he's like, okay, and he looks at me, and he's kind of doing this business, and he goes, Carol, I need you to, and he's got his hand out in front of him, and he kind of strokes his beard. He goes, Carol, I need you to reach and stand a little further. I'm narrating for them. And it just kind of does the beard thing again. And he goes, I need you to, and then he does this, and to us who are of a certain age, this looks like the money symbol, rubbing your thumb and two fingers together. He's doing this. I was very confused because that's what I'm like.
You need some change for a
What?
soda?
You need change? What? And no, it turns out he was doing this gesture because he's trying to express that he wanted me to give him something to work with. And I, of course, that's like a blow. It's like, oh, sucker punch. Yep, I suck. Oh, God. And, okay, so what do?
You actors are so fragile.
As an actor, no, but seriously, as an actor, what do you do when your director, who has already cast you because he saw the potential based on your auditions,
Right.
when he says to you...
Keep that in your head.
He says that, he says to you, give me something to work with. You go, all right, what the hell do I do? You do the homework.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a Shakespeare show, Comedy of Errors, that I was not unfamiliar with, but unfamiliar enough that I needed to go back and reread the whole thing again, get big picture. How does Adriana fit into this? That was my character. She's one of the wives of the mistaken twins, and the quite violent one, actually. I ended up throwing a wooden spoon at a guy, and I actually hit him, and I wasn't intending to. It was supposed to go past him, and right in his head during a show. That was hilarious. The audience loved it.
Yeah, I have
but
story,
anyway,
I have a story
so,
about that myself.
Yeah, that's a side rabbit trail coming back. So you go home, you do the homework, you study the character, you study your motivation, you expand in your head the possibilities of what the other character's motivations are in that scene, and then you bring it to rehearsal. And it takes courage sometimes to commit
you work on it.
to your character being a certain way when you have not collaborated with the other actors that are in that scene about their characters. So I went home, I did the homework. The next time I had a rehearsal, which I think was like a few days later, I come in and I have to commit to this violent-ish sort of woman who's kind of, the henpecking her husband, and just really commit with it. And after we do the same scene, Michael says out loud, yes, you have given me something to work with. And that was deeply affirming as somebody who's recovering from unhelpful critique.
Fantastic.
So there, that all ties together.
Well, speaking of throwing things, when we shot Revenge of Zoe, Rachel Netherton, who plays Frenzy Zoe, we had this desert scene. It's kind of a montage dance sequence, right? So we've got Billy out there, and we've got Bradford. He plays Billy, and so in the scene, it's kind of a dream sequence. So we're doing
I remember this is the second film.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
I've seen it. Okay.
So we're doing a lot of weird stuff. She's chasing him from left to right. They're disappearing and all this kind of weird stuff. And so at one point, I'm like, hey, let's have you throw some rocks at him, right? We'll have him crouch down like he's afraid, and you just chuck some rocks. Don't throw them at him. Just throw them past him.
We'll cut it so it looks like you're throwing it at him.
Tell. And she goes, yeah, okay, I can do that. And she chunks one and hits him right in the freaking head.
Yeah.
First shot.
No.
I'm just like, no.
No.
Overhit.
Over.
Poor Bradford. He took so much abuse from Rachel in that film. There's some great outtakes of because she has to smack him quite a bit in that movie. And there's some great outtakes of him.
Yeah.
I think he cracked a filling. Oh my god!
No.
Oh, it's so great.
Oh no! My co-star, I think that's accurate. Because he was also, there were 4 main characters in Comedy of Errors. John Love, the 4th. I hope you got your name right, John. He played one of the twin servants that often gets confused in that show. And he's the other guy's servant. I've mistaken him for mine. He's disobeying me, and I'm getting angrier and angrier. Hey, do we see a pattern? And I throw this wooden spoon at him. I cannot see without my glasses. I am required to have these suckers in order to drive, because without them on, y'all are just kind of flesh-colored blobs and various different colors for your clothes.
Yeah, it's
And I had my glasses off. I had no contacts at the time. So I am walking around stage because blocking was so precise, the way Michael would do things, that I knew where the steps were. I didn't trip or anything. But chucking the wooden spoon, all the shows that I'd done that before, I'd never hit him. The rehearsals never hit him. It would just go far. So we were completely relying on that. Not this one. I just chucked the spoon at him and I heard it connect. It was all I could do, like, because I'm still on stage. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, Carol, tell him later.
that's what you get.
It was so funny. Anyway, yes, that's a highly entertaining moment for me.
Good stuff.
So I have a bonus question.
Yeah.
Ooh, bonus question.
So when we were shooting the scenes at Tuscon back 4 years ago, Tuscon 46,
Oh, God,
and you were working security and hiding in several scenes in the
Hiding in several
background.
scenes, yeah.
Did you think we were just completely out of our minds, or
Nah.
what was your impression of what was going
Nah,
on?
I wanted to know what the
That's a
story
great
was.
question. I'm curious what your impression
I
was
wanted
of
to
us
know
when
what
we
the
just said
story
it.
was. Well, because
Yeah.
Eric had kind of pitched it at us. This is what the story is, because he had to get permission from the con committee,
Right.
and then we had to get permission from the hotel, and we had to do all of the consent forms with people who were appearing as extras and whatnot. So there was quite a process during which Eric explained the gist of the movie to us, not in huge great detail, but I know that there's two guys who are kind of competitive with each other, and they're going to a con and they want to film at our con for reasons, which is wonderful. And I was kind of like, okay. I did get caught by accident in the scene where they're rushing through the vendor hall.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
intend to be in that scene. And it was, you guys just started filming, and I was standing at my friend's booth talking to her, and I'm dressed in my, I don't even really think you see me.
No,
Because I'm dressed all in black, and I'm
have
very
to look,
much
yeah.
against
Yeah, you're up
her.
against the back.
Yeah, I'm up against
And
the
it's
back,
very
so
quick.
it's like
Yeah,
that.
it's very
And
quick, yeah.
I couldn't even spot me the 2 times that I've seen this movie.
Yeah, Marty had to point it out.
Yeah,
for me
you had
see
to point it out in order to see like my back and my hair. But we were just, and then you guys did it a couple of times, and I know from talking with friends who are extras, done extra work in movies, that you have to be consistent, because continuity errors, man, I hate them. I see them in films, and I go, you weren't wearing a hat. The other angle just a second ago. What are you doing? So I didn't want to be that person. And so every single time y'all shot the scene, I'm like, okay, do the same thing, turning this way, talking to Christina, and off we go. So yeah, no, I was not all like, these are crazy people. What are they doing? I was prepared.
Were you there when we hit Nate in the head with the lens, with the camera?
Well, that was in the dealer room when
Was
we were
it?
doing that.
That was in the
runaround.
dealer
It
room.
might
We're
have
doing
been on the
runaround.
other
That's what
side,
it
and I was just
It
trying
was
to.
right in front of David Lee Summers' table.
Yeah, that was like, because it was the U shape, and I was here at the beginning next to the door, and then David Lee Summers, I believe, was like around the other side or at the bottom of the U, and so that happened, but I didn't see it.
I was sure we'd split the forehead. His forehead open. And,
Oh,
well,
really?
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Apparently we did.
Apparently you did.
Couldn't see it on camera though. That was honestly that's what I was worried about.
Filming, it's a hazard, but it's fun. Yeah, and so then I was also in it. So what's really funny is the scenes where I'm an extra were filmed. What was it? 4 months, 5 months, maybe
Yeah,
6 months.
November of 2019.
November, and then we didn't actually film in March. We ended up filming, I think, was in
It was
June.
June of
It was
21.
June. So it was like 7 months later.
Oh, a whole year.
So
plus.
fun bonus information. I lost something like 30 pounds in that 7 months. So when you see me sitting behind Joe at the registration table, that's 7 months prior to Angry Customer. and I kind of look different.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, I don't. In my head, when I see you at the beginning, I don't tie you to the.
Yeah,
car.
you know what I'm
Right,
talking
yeah.
about. Yeah,
No,
but
no.
that's me. I mean, you might because of the hair, but I'm not wearing the hat.
I think the hat
The
causes
hat
the difference.
causes the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did play 2 characters in a Shakespeare show once. I was this was Much Ado About Nothing. I was the friar, and I was. Oh shoot, who else was I? I don't remember, because the friar was memorable because our friend from London, she was cast as Vergis, one of the silly constable people. She taught me the posh British accent so that there was a difference between my Freyr character and my other character. So that's memorable because I learned a dialect, I suppose you could say. I could not do it now for the life of me. It has been way too long. I did not keep that up. I probably should have.
Well, we appreciate being able to come into the con and film and all that. It was you guys.
We loved it.
You were really.
I mean, you're talking with a bunch of geeks who
Gracious about
love knowing the process of things. So we know him.
There's a special guest.
There's Jeff Notkin coming
Hey,
in.
Jeff.
Right at the end.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Oh, thanks. Hi, everyone.
So I guess we can open it up to our crowd.
Does
See if
anyone have
anyone's
any
got any questions?
Questions, comments, memories, because we have cast members in.
Yes.
No questions. That's fine.
Are you sure? We got 5 minutes. They can think of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to play a supervillain.
Yes.
Did you have any in mind that are already in canon or established characters, or did you want to come up with like an original character?
You want to play an original supervillain
No, okay,
or one
okay.
of your own making?
So no. What the ultimate push into wanting to play a supervillain character was Megamind.
Oh, okay.
That's
where
hilarious.
she's like, oh yeah, that's the thing, and it's the whole scene where she's captured. You know, the reporter lady, she's captured. He's trying to do all these scary things, and she's just deadpanning it. And then the spider,
The dreaded
and she goes,
spider.
yes, that is what I think of. He's like, oh, the spider's new, and it's just dangling right here in front of, and the spider.
The dreaded spider.
And I'm just going, what is this? I love it. that was my I want to play a supervillain now.
You know, the minute you mentioned it, my first thought was, I can't remember her name, but she shows up at the end of WandaVision. She's the
Agatha
villain.
Harkness.
Agatha.
Yeah.
That when you said that, I was like, boy, she'd probably be a great Agatha.
Oh,
Harkness.
I love that. Was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that. The whole reveal and then and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
more
that's good.
serious supervillain. I'm pretty cool. But because I have a laugh, and my laugh is my normal laugh is just a cackle. I have a witch's cackle. I can't really control that.
And nor should you.
Yes, Jeff.
I want to play a supervillain too.
Yeah.
And you might remember that at the beginning of Revenge of Zoe, we've got the fake trailer, and I've had a bit part as Professor von Blitzkrieg,
You did
which
play a
was
supervillain.
filmed in a set at my old studio. And there was a plan, since we've done now this trilogy of tongue-in-cheek comedy drama, making of comic book things, that we would do an actual superhero film with Blitzkrieg and Frenzy battling it out. And there was a time that this was high on our radar, like this is going to be the next film. And Rachel Netherton, who played Zoe, and I were both working out big time.
Wow.
Training, running.
Doing
all
the whole
time.
thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I still hope that will happen.
Okay, well, if he's the supervillain,
Malicious.
malicious.
Yeah.
One of the
See
characters
that
in
a
our
force
in our little-
romantic.
Yeah.
Jesus, sorry.
Yeah.
We have like fake characters.
I'm never
in
getting
comic
away from
series.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, that's the one that I was
Sad
angry
to
about
watch
not
it.
having anymore. That you sold to your character sold to someone else.
Yes. So if
When
we
they
do-
knew I was coming in to get it.
Exactly. So if we make this movie about Zoe and Malicious and the other characters from inside the comic world, we might have a cast.
That would be so. Oh my god, I love
great
secrets
idea.
tucked into things.
So that's not,
Frenzy from the future.
Oh, right.
Oh, you guys, I would love to work on that. Okay, you already know that I want to work with you again. You already know that.
that wasn't my question.
Okay,
this
so what's
leads
your
directly
question?
into this.
What's your
So as you know, Carol,
Yes.
because I told you this before,
Mhm.
your relatively short but very intense performance in Love Song is so fantastic. And I've had it, it's played in my head so many times. Do you know how long I've been waiting for this? Since I was a kid. And it's so impassioned. So my actual question to
And a
you
little
is,
angsty.
are you really a comic book collector, or are you method doing that?
I was method. I'm not a comic book collector necessarily, but my fandom is the original She-Ra, voiced by Melindy Britt, whom I love. I got to work with her at a con. I was her handler, so that was a dream come true. Yeah. I'm allowed to nerd out about it now because it was about 8 years ago, and she already found it. One of my coworkers outed me right in front of her. Oh yeah, you know, she cried when they announced that you were going to be a guest, and I was like, dude, I'm going to punch you in the face. I've been working so hard to establish the rapport, you know, because you're supposed to be professional. They're in your safe space. You don't get to fangirl all over them. You can do it around the corner when they're not looking, but not in front of them. And then he just outs me. She was so excited. I went, what? And then we just bonded even more. So I love her. She's delightful. And no, I'm not thanking him for that, by the way. That was not a thank you. I'm still kind of like, don't you? Anyway, where was I going with this? You asked me a question. Method. Yes. So what I did was I imagined that this was like a She-Ra, original She-Ra comic that I had been wanting since I was a child. And they sold it out from under my nose, knowing I was coming to get it. And the feelings from that just came right out.
That's awesome. That's
Fantastic.
So yes, I did
So it
method
was
that a
real,
little bit.
as I always
It was real. Yeah. You know, you like kind of hook with something, and then you can carry it along with the particular scene that you're in. But yeah, that was the emotion that I grabbed onto and then ran with.
Fantastic.
I want to say we saw that Vegas thrift shop that we were in, the curio shop that we were in. They had some animated cell backgrounds, and I'm pretty sure there was Thundar and She-Ra in there. There were some She-Ra backgrounds. You know, just the motion backgrounds. And then
yeah, no, you guys were talking about it. That there were cells in that in Las Vegas, and as soon as you said She-Ra, I went.
Yeah.
I'm like, but what shop is this? Can you send me a pin so it's like I can drive to Vegas and go see it? Yeah, because I would actually probably do that.
Well, somebody's going to be in Vegas pretty soon.
Well, that's true. I'm going to be in Vegas soon, so
maybe.
All right, so you're gonna like take a photo of it and text it to me. Be like, Carol, this is how much it is. Do you want it?
Yeah, I would be happy to do that.
Yay!
Yeah. What I'm not going to do is write a freaking frenzy script. I'm not doing it, guys.
Okay.
We need to have the cut scenes, like
Oh yeah, you need to do the cut scenes, like
blooper reel.
compilation.
Oh, blooper! Oh God,
I'll send those to you. I've put them together already.
And then people are gonna see how many times I fucked up my scene. Pardon my language.
I only included the funny ones.
Yes. Okay, good.
Oh yeah, he takes all of embarrassed. Like, you know,
where I'm visibly embarrassed at what I just did. Yes.
There's a great one where we're in a house, and it's the three actresses, and they're doing a scene together, and I'm standing off to the side, and the camera's supposed to pan over. One of the actresses picks something up and then walks into the trio of conversation. And I'm like, okay, action, and I'm staring with my script, and the camera pans over, and I'm right in the shot. Like, just dead in the shot. Just dead in it. And everybody's just like, you're in the shot, dude. I'm just like, I got a lot of stuff going on, guys. And you can hear me say it on the thing. I'm just dead in this. Just stand there like, anyway.
There were a bunch of times that happened with me, especially in the comic book job, because I was the location photographer, still photographer, along with about 6 other things. And I was trying to be very diligent, and I mean, I am aware that you're supposed to be behind the camera, but I'm also trying to get the really cool shot and just balancing more expressions or whatever, and Cliff will go action, and they start panning, it'd be a few seconds in, and Cliff will go, Jeff's in the shot.
Yep. I got to knock it in the shotgun.
Over and over again.
I got to knock it in the shotgun.
Knock it in the shot.
Knock it in the shotgun every time. No, that and the other one was Marty and I would whisper each other because you'd hear.
Oh yeah.
We go. He's gonna stop filming when I say action, right?
No.
Action. Okay, go. Yeah.
Eventually, I figured out how to turn the sound off.
Eventually.
Oh man, that was great.
Love it.
Well, Carol, thanks so much.
Thank
You are very welcome.
You were delightful to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
And you were
guys
great.
are fun. Yeah, and so now you have an actual recording of my laugh, and you can see that it is actually a villain's witch cackle.
Harkness, I'm telling you, Harkness.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much. You should come. Oh no, wait, because you guys will be playing this later. This isn't like live.
But you should
live.
come to. You should come to Tucson.
Yeah, you should research Tucson and come out for whatever year it is by the time this releases. Yeah, you should do that. Okay.
Right on.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Support the show on Buzzsprout for only $3 a month. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify or the platform of your choice. And be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page.